Hello friends. In the previous video, we have discussed about Docker basic interview questions and answers. In this video, we are going to discuss some of the intermediate and experience level questions and answers. If you have not watched that video, please go and watch for continuation. So let's start. The first question is, how many ways are there in order to create a image? What are those? So basically, there are three ways in which image can be created. One is pulling the existing image from Docker Hub. One is creating the image out of your container, and third one is through Docker file. So let me show you the first one, how to pull the image from the Docker Hub. The command is docker pull image name. So this is hub.docker.com. So here you can search the images, whatever image you want, you type it here. For example, if I want Ubuntu, so I am going to search that. Here you can see the results. So these are the images, existing images which are available on Docker Hub. So we can pull this image. So now I will go to my instance and pull that image. For example, docker pull image name. So here in the Docker Hub, you can see the image name. So image name is Ubuntu. For example, if I want to pull this. So you can see the Docker is pulling the image. So first it will try to find that image locally. If image is not present locally means it will go to Docker Hub and it will pull the image. So one copy of the image Docker engine stores locally also. So next time if you pull that means it will be found locally itself. So if you see Docker images, the command to see all the images which you are having, here you can see Ubuntu is there. So Ubuntu image just now we pulled from the Docker Hub. So this is first way of creating your images. So let's go back to my PPT. So the second way is to create the image out of your running containers. Assume that you are having certain container running. So from that container you can create the image. The command is docker commit your container name and whatever the image name you want. And third one is through Docker file. So these two we will see in future. So coming to the next question. So how do you create a Docker container from an image? So in order to create the container from the image, the command is docker run -it -name my con, that is the container name whichever you want. So this is any user defined name. If you don't give name using this tag means some default names will be given. And whatever image name you are using to create this container, the image name /bin/bash. So this command will create an container and it also starts the container. It will run the container and it will take you inside this container. So this command can also be used with -d option. If -d is used, then it means that the container starts in the detached mode. Detached mode means it runs in the background of your terminal and it does not receive input or display output. So if you want to create the container and you don't want to run it, then the command is docker container create -it -name your container name and your image name from which you are creating this container. The -it it stands for I stands for interactive mode and T stands for terminal. So it will open the terminal for you to work. The container terminal will be opened. So let me show you these two options. Giving the name for my container as my container and my image name is Ubuntu. See, now you are inside this container. Here earlier this is the IP address we are having. We are at this EC2 user. Now here you can see the ID. So if you want to exit out of this container, just type exit. So now you are at the terminal, root terminal. So docker container create name my container and image is Ubuntu. Image name I have pulled right now. I am having only this image. So here you can see you are seeing some ID. Your container is created. So it will just create the container, but it will not start the container and it will not take you inside the container. If you wish to use a base image and make modifications or personalize it, how do you do that? So base image means we are going to pull the image from the Docker Hub. So using this command, docker pull image name. And if you want to modify it, so you have to create a container and whatever the modifications you do know, those modifications will not appear in this base image. For example, assume that I am having one image. So this is my image and I pull that image and I will create a container. So this is my container. So this is my image. Assume that image is having something, for example, star. So using this image, I will create the container. So your container will also have star. Now I want certain modifications. Assume that I will add plus and minus to this container. If you do modifications in the container, means these modifications are not available in this image. So if you want these modifications to be available in the image, means you have to create one more image. So from this container, create one more image. So in that image you are having all these modifications. What is Docker file? So it is a text file that has all commands which need to be run for building a given image. So it is like a text file in which we are writing the commands. So these commands are used to build your image. So Docker can build the images automatically by reading the instructions from a file called as Docker file. So this is very important question at intermediate or experienced level. So mention some of the components of a Docker file. So your Docker file can contain various components. For example, the first component must be from, and all these components must be in capital letters only. And in Docker file, D must be capital and remaining letters must be small case. So the first component is from. So from will specify from which base image you are going to create this. So this command must be at the top of the Docker file. Second, run. It is used to execute the commands. And how many commands you have written? Each command is run as a layer. So layered architecture is followed here. Next command, if you want to specify author, owner or descriptions, then use maintainer component. One more component is copy. So this is used to copy files from local system. We need to provide source and destination. In order to copy, we need to provide what is your source and what is your destination. Then next component is add. It is similar to copy, but it provides a feature to download files from the internet and also extract file at Docker image side. So difference between copy and add might be asked by the interviewer. So in copy, you can copy files only from local system. We cannot download the file from internet, but in add that option is also there. So we can download the files from the internet. Then expose component. This expose component is used to export ports. Suppose you want to export certain port, for example 8080 or 80 port, then you can do that using this expose component. One more component is CMD. So this CMD is used for executing the commands. But these commands should be executed only during the container creation. So during container creation, if you want to execute certain commands, then specify those in the CMD. Next we are having entry point. So it is similar to CMD, but it has higher priority over CMD. So one more difference might be CMD and entry point. So entry point is also similar to CMD, but priority is given to entry point. So first the command specified in the entry point will be executed because it is having the highest priority. The next component is env. It is used to specify your environment variables. And one important question for experienced level people. So write a sample Docker file. So in order to write the sample Docker file, so go to VI editor, VI Docker file. So this name should be same. You can't change it. So D should be capital and remaining small letters. Specify the components. Whichever components you want, you specify here. So for example, from must be the first component, as I told, from which base image you are creating? From Ubuntu. So from Ubuntu. One more component is work dir. Work dir is used to specify your working directory. So I am going to specify working directory as /tmp. So whatever we do, it will be stored in this /tmp. Then using the run component, we are specifying the commands. So whichever commands you want to execute, using run you have to specify echo hello world. And we are redirecting the output of that to one file called as test file under tmp directory. So under environment variable, we are specifying my name, for example ABC. So my name will be taken the value ABC. Then we are specifying the copy component also. So you should have this test file one in your current directory, then only it will be copied. This is your source and this is your destination. And we are specifying add component. Add component, so you can extract file at Docker image side. You can mention whichever component you are comfortable. How to build a Docker file or how to create an image from Docker file. So this is one more way I told. No, there are 3 ways to create the images. The third way is to create image from Docker file. So once you have written a Docker file, you need to build it to create an image with those specifications. So you use the following command: docker build -t my image dot. So dot represents your current working directory. So it will build the Docker file or create an image from this Docker file. The name of the image, the tag we are giving is my image. -t stands for tag and we are giving it as my image. Suppose if your Docker file is present in the current working directory, so you are giving this dot. Suppose if it is not present in the current working directory, it is present somewhere else means, then the command is docker build -t my image, and here you specify path to your Docker file. Wherever your Docker file is present, now you specify the complete path. So next we will discuss some of the basic Docker commands. So any of the command might be asked in the interview. Suppose if you want to see all the images present in your local repository, then the command is docker images. To find out images from the Docker Hub, I want to search some of the image from the Docker Hub means you need not go to Docker Hub. In your terminal only you can search by using docker search followed by image name. So let me show these 2 options. See the images available in your local repo. So just give docker images. And to search the images from the Docker Hub, docker search. For example, I want to search Ubuntu image related to Ubuntu. So here you can see all those images along with their name and description. It is available. Then how you download an image from the Docker Hub? So this we have already discussed. Docker pull image name. To give a name to your container, start it and go inside it. Already we have discussed this. That is docker run command. To check your status of the Docker service. So Docker service status. Suppose if your Docker is running or not, if you want to check means, give docker service status. To start the service, docker service start. To stop the service, just service stop. And to start the container, suppose if you have just created the container but not started means, then docker start container name. So very easy commands. Then to go inside the container, docker attach container name. This is important. To go inside a container, docker attach container name. To see all the containers, so this is also very important. If you want to see the status of all the containers, docker ps-a. To see only the running containers, I want to see only the containers which are running, then docker ps. Then to stop a container which you have started, docker stop container name. And to delete a container, docker rm for remove container name. Then to kill a container, docker kill followed by container id. Next question is, suppose you have 3 containers running and out of these you wish to access one of them. So how do you do it? This can be done using docker exec-it container id /bin/bash. This exec command lets you get inside a container and work with it. So let me show this with an example. So first your container should be running. In these 2 containers, see the status. So it is up, that is it is running, and one is exited. Docker exec-it your container id. So here you can see container id is provided. Just copy and paste it. So now I will press enter. See, I am inside the container. Here this container id, whatever I gave now, this container id is visible. So now you are at the terminal of the container. You are inside this container. Can you use a container, edit it and update it? And also how do you make it a new and store it on a local system? So of course you can use a container, edit it and update it. So after from the image you create the container, and in that we are going to do all our work. So naturally we are editing it and updating it. And this is very easy. Just a simple question has been asked in a tricky way. So it can be done using only one command, that is docker commit container id and your image name. This container, whatever you are running container or whatever the modifications you have done, so from this container this image is created. So once you have image, so from the container you have created the image. So how do you push that image to Docker Hub? So we can push our image to Docker Hub. So for that you have to create one account in your Docker Hub. The command is docker push, whatever your username is there for the Docker Hub, and followed by whichever image you want to push. It will ask you to enter your, if you don't give username here, it will ask you here username and password in order to push that image. Next question is how you delete an image from the local storage system. So the following command can be used for deleting the image: docker rmi image id. So if you give docker images, you will see the image IDs. So just give any image ID you want to delete. That is RMI stands for remove image. Next question, do you know why docker system prune is used? What does it do? So it is used to remove all the stopped container and all the networks that are not used, all dangling images, all build caches. It's one of the most useful docker commands. Next question, will you lose your data when a docker container exits? No. So when you exit out of a docker container, you are not going to lose the data. So you won't lose any data when docker container exits. Any data that your application writes to the container gets preserved on the disk until you explicitly delete the container. Until we explicitly delete the container, the data is available. The next question is, where all do you think Docker is being used, or what are the applications of Docker? Both questions you need to answer the same. So again an intermediate level question, important question. What are the applications of Docker where you can use this? So Docker can be used in the following areas, like simplifying configuration. That is, Docker lets you put your environment and configuration into code and deploy it. Next, for code pipeline management. So there are different systems used for development and production. So as the code travels from development to testing to production environment, it goes through difference in the environment. So Docker helps in maintaining the code pipeline consistency. That is, so how it runs at one environment, it will run the same at the other environment. Then developer productivity. Using Docker for development gives us two things. That is, we are closer to production and development environment is built faster. So the next application of Docker is for application isolation. So your containers are isolated, wrapped together with all dependencies. Your apps are isolated. So they can work by themselves on any hardware that supports Docker. Debugging capabilities. Docker support various debugging tools that are not specific to containers but work well with containers. Multi-tenancy. Docker lets you have multi-tenant applications, avoiding redundancy in your codes and deployment. So you can avoid the redundancy. Then rapid deployment. Docker eliminates the need to boost the entire operating system from scratch. So reducing the deployment time. So deployment time is very much reduced by using these containers. The next question might be, how is Docker different from other containerization methods? So Docker containers are very easy to deploy in any cloud platform. So they are very easy, that can be deployed in any cloud platform. So it gets more applications running on the same hardware when compared to other technologies. And it makes it easy for developers to quickly create ready to run containerized applications. And it makes managing and deploying applications much easier. And you can share your containers with your applications. Next question, how many possible states are there for a container? Is there a way to identify the status of a Docker container? So your container might be having the different states, like 6 possible states are there for the container, like created. Suppose just you have created, and if you have started the container means it is in running state. You can pause the container, you can restart the paused container, you can exit out of a container, and container in dead state, Docker PS. It will list all the containers that might be in any of these states. And to see only the running containers, it is Docker PS-A. We have already seen these. Can you remove a paused container from Docker? So the answer is no. If the container is paused means you cannot remove. You cannot remove a paused container. The container must be stopped before you delete it. So can a container restart by itself? No. Container cannot restart by itself. We have to start, because by default the flag -restart is set to false. Is it better to directly remove the container using the rm command or stop the container followed by remove container? So this is an important question. So it is always better to stop the container than remove it. So sorry, this is remove. It's always better to stop the container and then remove it using the remove command. So first stop your container using docker stop container id, then remove it. Docker rm -f container id. This -f option, that is forcefully we are removing the container. So stopping the container and then removing it will allow sending this signal SIGHUB signal to the recipients. So what this will do? This will ensure that all the containers have enough time to clean up their task. So this method is considered as a good practice and avoid unwanted errors. So how many containers can run per host? There can be as many as containers you wish per host. So there is no limit. Docker does not put any restrictions, but you need to consider every container needs some storage space, CPU, memory, which the hardware needs to support. Your hardware needs to support that much. You also need to consider the application size. Containers are considered to be lightweight, but very dependent on the host operating system. How do you get the number of containers running, paused and stopped? So you can use this command docker info. So using this command, you can get number of containers which are running, paused and stopped. And it will also display number of images. Lot more information is displayed using this docker info command. So the next question, how do you log in into Docker repository? So from the terminal, if you want to log into your Docker repository in order to push your image, I told that in order to push the image, first we need to log in. So that can be done using Docker login. So it will ask you username and password. If you enter those correctly, then you will be logged in. So after that, you are allowed to push your images to Docker Hub. So the next important question, what is the life cycle of a Docker container? So life cycle of a Docker container is nothing but the different stages which your Docker container might go through. So there are different stages your Docker container from start of creating it to its end. So this is called as Docker container life cycle. So first we will create the container. After creating, you can start the container. After starting the container, we can run the container. Running container can be paused and we can stop the container, or we can restart the container, we can kill the container, we can destroy the container. So these are the different stages. So please do subscribe to our channel. So in the next video, I will be coming with more questions and answers on this Docker. Thank you.